Hello everybody and welcome to Pro Tabletop. My name is Brad if you're not familiar with me, and this is going to be kind of our first rendition of a battle report tabletop simulator. We're speeding it up by like 1,000 times so that you don't have to sit for 3 hours and watch it, but I'm going to kind of go over what happened. This is a tournament game that happened this past weekend. I am playing Grey Knights. If you would like to see my list and the opponent's list, we will put it down in the description below, so I'm not going to really spend too much time going over that. This kind of started off, we rolled off for who got attacker defender. I actually got attacker. I chose to go second, and looking back, I probably could have gone first, should have gone first, but it's okay. So I chose to go second, and then I rolled deployment. It was frontline assault. I chose to re-roll it. I got search and destroy, so that's where we are. This Necron player over here played the first turn very well by just kind of setting up screens. You can see he moved up all of his Wraith just kind of behind walls and stuff like that. Very hard for me to shoot him so that I can't get line of sight at all unless I put myself super out of position or I gate somewhere and kind of make it a little bit more risky. So that's kind of what he did for his first turn. There was no killing or anything like that. He did hold stuff. He didn't bonus because he could have held 4 objectives, but he chose to stay behind that wall instead of making it risky and making it so that my paladins would be able to see him. So basically my paladins have no line of sight of anything there, and yes, they do have the ability to astral aim to shoot some stuff, but after a lot of testing and things like that with mock rolling dice against what a Wraith would do with their 3-up invuln, I didn't feel confident that I would be able to take out a full Wraith squad. I might pick up 3-4 models. If I get very lucky, maybe I'll take out a whole squad. So instead what I decided to do is I decided to go for a vehicle, which the AP will be a little bit more susceptible on, and I could also get some other shots onto it if I need to, because I really wanted to kill one because he didn't kill one to kill more. So I was kind of going for a little bit extra points there. Played a little cagey, moved up a little bit. We'll see a little bit later on how that plays out for me. So this first turn right here, what I'm doing is I'm measuring out what paladins can reach. I think all of them but like 2 reach the Doomsday Arc there. So I'm just going to basically lay all of my shots for my bolter and my silencers into that Doomsday Arc. And I did use CP to make the bolters psi weapons, so they will be damage 2 because I'm in that tide. The AP is only going to be -2 for it. So nothing too crazy, but it was enough to actually pick it up with shooting that and the Dread Knight at it. So I did pick that up. I did get kill 1 and kill more. He ended up getting hold 1 and hold more for me. So it was a kind of a little minuscule first turn. This going into this second turn right here is kind of where I realized how bad I messed up and how I should have changed my play a little bit. So you're going to see how far he moves up right here. And I really wasn't too concerned about the Wraith. I was like, I'm going to welcome the Wraith and, I'm just going to fight them in close combat. I'll probably pick them up. But you know what? 3-up invulns are super, super resilient. And I guess I underestimated that a little bit. And I underestimated the flat 2 damage and all the rerolls that they get and how hard they can hit characters. So if you don't know how Grey Knights kind of typically play, you have to protect your characters. You have to get to that turn 2, turn 3, and be putting out all of your 2 damage smites. So the second you start losing characters with Grey Knights, your army just gets completely less effective because you are just taking all of your psychic powers, everything like that away. And here's where I really messed up. You can see him dropping in these death marks. So he drops in 3 squads at 8 death marks, and he just says, hey, I'm going to shoot these 2 squads into your librarian. So my librarian is the only person who has the power to change the tide and give me a CP back every turn. So he wails into them and he destroys my librarian. He just gets mortal wounds out the wazoo, completely picks him up off the table. So that was really bad for me. I got stuck in a tide that of the 2 damage and -1 AP to psi weapons on infantry, which doesn't really do too much right now. So I got stuck in that tide. I was not able to switch it to the smite tide after this. And then to make it even worse, the death marks that are in the back right there that are going to shoot in a second decide to target my Tech Marine. So my Tech Marine has the relic to heal all my vehicles 2d3. So the plan there is that it kind of protects my Dreadnought for a turn or two, and then it gates to wherever a Dread Knight is, and a hurt Dread Knight, it would just heal it up. So right now the Dread Knight that's on the table is at 2 wounds only. So the plan would be turn 2, I go over there, I heal him 2d3. Now I'm going up to either 4 wounds or possibly, 8 wounds. So that's a huge jump back up for that Dread Knight. So he picks off 2 of my big characters in sniping right there. So his death marks, they have rapid fire weapons if they're within half range. So he drops them in, they're within half range. And yeah, just absolute detrimental. So what I needed to do there is I needed to be aware that that was going to happen. And I needed to start my strike teams on the table, bubble wrap my characters in that back corner. And I needed to keep my paladins probably off the table. So I needed to keep my paladins and both of my dread knights off the table, put everything on the table in that back corner, wrap my characters. And I really needed to kind of kite him, let him chase me for 2 turns, mitigate his deep strike, potential of seeing my characters, and then bring the fight to the other side of the table, make him run back across the table. So I definitely could have done that. I didn't think enough about it. I just totally didn't think that army was as scary as it was with flat 2 damage in combat. All the hits that the Wraiths are putting out was definitely scary. So right here, we're in the combat phase, and I activated a stratagem for every time a Paladins dies, it can fight, because I knew he was going to start picking up Paladins. I wanted to make sure that they were going to be able to fight. So he killed like 1 with the first squad of Wraith only, and I did fight with that. And then I interrupted, so I fought with the rest of the Paladins before they died as an interrupt to try to pick up a couple more Wraith. I think I might have picked up 1, if that. And then he basically just started piling in, picking up more Paladins and picking up, he picked up like Voldus. All 6 of those red Wraiths attack Voldus. So it was really detrimental. I lost him like immensely because there's nothing you can do when you miss invuln saves and it's, 8, 12, 14 damage. There's just nothing you can do about it. That flat 2 damage is just crazy, and he got a lot of hits through on that. Or wounds through on that. So he picked up another character there. So now I'm kind of stuck with 3 Paladins, a Chaplain, an Ancient, and a Brother. That's what I'm left with at the end of this combat. So I got hit really, really hard. I rolled morale. I lost another Paladins, so I was down to 2. So yeah, he hit me really hard, and I was kind of like, okay, how do I come back from this? What do I do? In Deep Strike, I have 2 strike squads, and I have another Dread Knight. But I didn't think at this point it was possible for me to win, mainly because I'm stuck in a tide without 2 damage smite, and I'm just like, what am I supposed to do? I'm not gonna be able to damage anything. You can see my Dreadnought in the back there is just gonna kind of sit there now, and he's just like, okay, well, he's gonna get sniped, he's gonna get pushed by these Wraith. What do I do? So I was kind of thinking this over, and I decided the best play was to gate something out of this combat situation. I chose to gate the Brother because he has a hammer out of there, and he has the best potential of taking on other things in combat, like helping pick up these other vehicles and stuff like that in combat. So I decided to gate him out, kind of put him across the table, and this turn I was going to try to pick up these 2 characters that are in his backline on objective 1 and objective 3, and another Doomsday Arc. So I wanted to try to get Killmore here, and I also wanted to try to get Holdmore potentially, because he was only on 2 objectives, and I have 3 objectives that I could possibly get to if I make my charges and whatnot. So during the shooting, I kind of decided to give that up because I wasn't sure if I was going to make all my charges. It's never guaranteed, but shooting a bunch of bolter fire into a character with 4 wounds is almost a guaranteed kill. So, I went for a lot of shooting to try to get Killmore, because that last turn, he did kill a bunch of characters. So he killed 3 characters. So if I kill 3 things, then he doesn't get Killmore, and we get killed the same at least. And I felt like I had a potential here to pick up 2 characters, a Doomsday Arc, and then 1, if not 2 squads of the death marks in the back. So that was kind of my plan. I was like, okay, I could get kill more if I play this correctly and if everything goes my way. So I do end up picking up this character in the back corner by objective 1 by shooting him. So I get kill 1 there, and then the Dread Knights are going to shoot at that Doomsday Arc. One's on 2 wounds, remember, the other one's full health. And I do whittle it down. I don't kill it all the way, so I do have to end up charging it with a Dread Knight. And then I attempt to make a charge with my character into his character. So my character will charge him. I'll get on that objective 3. I'll take him out in combat, and then I think I make that charge. We'll have to see. And then the Dread Knight charges into the Doomsday Arc and annihilates it in combat. I would hope so. And when I was doing that, something to be aware of is I have 2 combat weapons. I have the Dread Fists, and you can see right here, before I talk about that, is I'm trying to charge these back guys into the death marks. So I shot at them. I picked some up by shooting just bolters and a little bit of smite. And then I was like, okay, if I make this charge, I could clean up both of these squads. Well, I failed the charge, and then the other single guy was going to charge over and give me my double recon, but he died in Overwatch. So I had a single guy die in Overwatch, another one fail a charge, so that went completely wrong on that side of the board, and that just like completely flipped me, losing 2 or 3 points. And then the Dread Knight, what I was saying is I could either do his hammer, which is flat 3 damage, or I could do his fists. And his fists, I get another attack and they're D3 damage, and because he can, avoid damage on those vehicles with quantum shielding, I decided to do the D3 attacks, because if I roll 1 or 2 damage and stuff like that, I have a better chance of him not mitigating it. And because I had 7 attacks and he only had 8 health, I felt confident enough I was going to be able to do it. I do kill him, and then I hold that objective as well. So that's kind of how that went, which was, I guess, okay. And my other character did not make that charge to objective 3, so I really just got kill 1 and hold 1 for that. I didn't get any mores. He got the hold more, he got the kill more. But now what I did is I kind of made him have to chase me. So now he has to turn his sights. You can see his Wraiths are going back there. They're going to try to go engage that Dreadnought in combat. I've got 2 Paladins guys left. He pulls one of them, or a Paladin and a character there. He actually just pulled the Paladin out of combat with those other Wraiths, which he realizes later that he wasn't going to be able to attack that Paladin, but he does end up touching him. So kind of a little mistake right there. He could have probably picked up that Paladin, but it's not the end of the world when it's just a single guy. So now he starts to move back across the board because he's going after my Strike Squad and my Dread Knights and my character that's over there. So that's what I needed to do earlier in the game and more efficiently and effectively without losing all of my characters, because now he has to run all the way across the board. So now it's going to take him 2 turns, 3 turns to get all the way to the board to be able to, get his combat stuff in combat with me again. So that's kind of where the plan started to work for me a little bit. I did start to bring it back somewhat. So as we watch this combat happen, he does some damage onto the Dreadnought, and not too much, so it's just a couple wounds. I mean, he's tough 8. He doesn't wound very easily. I did make some saves, so I only take like 2 or 3 damage. Really not a big deal. And then he does pick up another character, piles in, touches my Paladin. I choose to run the Paladin away just so he's not getting free attacks, and hopefully to, get a recon point, essentially. These guys in the back, I move up on this objective marker. I'm just trying to hold objectives. I'm going for hold more again. Not again, but for the first time on turn 3 here. I want to get hold more because I can gain a couple extra points and maybe start bringing the game back. So I get them on the objective. I have this other Dread Knight back there on an objective. And then I'm going to basically try to charge this character and pick him up. So then in the psychic phase right here, unfortunately what happened is I was going to use Gate to pick up one of my Dread Knights and put him on an objective. He blocked Gate with his 1 psychic block that he has. So that was super unfortunate. He blocked me from doing that. So I ended up on 2 objectives. I didn't end up holding more. We ended up holding the same, but I still mitigated him from getting a point, which isn't the worst. I shot a bunch of shots downtown at his vehicle, and I end up picking it up. So the Doomsday Arc goes bye-bye. And then we charge the character and the... I'm going to call it a caterpillar. Charge the caterpillar. Centipede. I guess the Doomsday Arc doesn't. The Doomsday Arc just gets hurt. So we multi-charge. We only make enough to get into the character. The Dread Knight and my single character go in on his character. We kill him, no problem. Now we're on that objective, and the Dread Knight's kind of hidden, so he's not going to be able to shoot at me as easy. So now into his turn, he starts to just be super aggressive. So he's setting up to charge with the Wraiths in the back there onto the strike squad, and then he's setting up to charge my Dread Knight and my brother on that objective 3. So he doesn't have too much shooting here. Stuff's locked in combat or out of line of sight. So he's going to shoot his Doomsday Arc down at that Dread Knight that had 2 wounds only. And it misses everything, so it does end up staying alive, which is really good for me. And then he charges me in combat. He doesn't kill anything. He takes a couple wounds. And then I end up actually picking up both guys that came in combat with me. So my brother was able to handle his Warlord one-on-one, the little vehicle that you'll see there, and then the Dread Knight was able to handle the Centipede, no problemo. So that did give me some kills there. So now I'm like, oh, maybe I can get, kill more and hold more this next turn, because, he handed me 2 kills on his turn, but he did kill stuff as well. He killed that single paladin. He's still working on killing that Dreadnought in the back, if he didn't pick it up already. So yeah, he's whittling me away, and I'm just trying to scrape up some points. So I did bring the game back a little bit at this point, to be within like a 3-point game. It was like 21-19. So it did end up getting closer. And right here, I was like, okay, so now I'm going to try to kill this Doomsday Arc, and then I'm going to try to, hold a bunch of objectives. And this is where being stuck in the tide where I'm not doing 2 damage smite really started to hurt, because I'm trying to smite these Wraiths and I can't smite them enough. I'm only doing 1 damage. So, I do like 1, 2, 3 damage on them only. I pick up a couple of them. I shoot a couple of them. But if I had more smite damage, I'd be able to pick them up super easy right there, which would have put me in a better situation to survive, hold objectives, kill more and whatnot. I didn't get gate off again. It failed. So I end up not getting gate off. My Dread Knights are just kind of there holding objectives, failing charges, doing stuff that is unfortunate. So I wanted to gate them back by the death marks, and then I wanted to charge the death marks, and then get a fight there, clean up some stuff. But gate didn't go off for the second time, which is really bad. And I have no CP, obviously. I haven't been able to regain CP. I only start off with 9. I burned it really fast. So now he comes in at me with that red squad of Wraith, and he's going to, pick up that Dread Knight pretty easy in combat. He only had a couple wounds. He shot it a little bit, knocked it down from 8 wounds down to 2 wounds before he even went into combat. And then just cleaned him up super easy. And then he went and kind of started picking up a couple guys in that strike squad in the back, but I was able to kind of just stay alive, hold that objective for the rest of the game with them. And then with this Dread Knight here, I was like, okay, I'm just going to try to hold objectives and clean up some death marks, because I feel like they're the easiest kills. So I gate him. I'm still on an objective. I'm going to try to clean those death marks up and maybe charge them. Unfortunately, I felt that at that point, for me to make the charge with the amount of guys that I killed with shooting, I wasn't going to be able to kill all of them in combat, because there's 7 guys and I have 7 attacks. So like chances of me killing them all and them not holding that objective, it wouldn't give me holding more at that point. So I was like, all right, I'm just going to stay on this objective, not chance it, get a couple extra points. And then this last turn, he pretty much just blows me off the table, shoots at the Dread Knight, and charges my character there. So I played a lot wrong. I'm going to do a couple videos kind of going over a little bit more in-depth strategy and what I did wrong, so you guys can understand. But I did end up losing the game. It was 35-22, And yeah, let us know what you think. And Thomas and Damien have a lot of tournament games coming on as well, so we'll be doing this with them. And thanks for watching, everybody.